guys are having the most beautiful morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is when today's video finally reaches you. Welcome back to yet another day in 31 days of Halloween, where I'm uploading every single day from now until Halloween. And I am so excited to be here, you guys, because today's video is a story that I am so excited to share with you. It is paranormal, it is eerie, but it is also beautiful. And I really think that it will touch you the same way that it touched me, because after hearing this story, I can't even explain to you guys what I felt. I had goosebumps, I had chills, and I just was like, wow, that is something else. Before we get into today's video though, I just want to let you guys know that we are down to my last 4 of my Friendly Ghost beanie hats and my last 5 of the Friendly Ghost face masks. So if you guys would like to get your hands on them, I will have a link down below to not only those 2 items, but the rest of my merch as well if you guys would like to shop. And yeah, so it will be down in the description for you. But with that being said, let's get into today's video and the story of Jasmine and Rhonda. So Jasmine was a troubled 15-year-old girl who applied for a job at a super center. And during this time in her life, nothing was really going right for her. She didn't have a good family structure at home. She had no siblings to lean on. All of her grandparents had passed, and she really truly felt alone. She was misunderstood in school, and her parents told her that it was time that she owned up and started providing for her own self. If she wanted certain groceries, she'd have to contribute. And being as young as she was, it was a lot for her to carry on her shoulders. She was struggling with depression, struggling with anxiety, and really just pulled within herself, didn't talk much to anybody. She actually resorted to drawing. And she would draw about this beautiful life that she was going to build for herself in the town far away that she was going to move to someday, when she could finally save enough money to get out of the small town that she was living in. So she worked her job at the super center as much as she could. She took on as many shifts as she could. And then she met Rhonda. Now Rhonda was an older lady who worked at the super center who really took a liking to Jasmine. And for the first few years, Jasmine didn't talk to Rhonda much. Jasmine actually didn't talk to anybody much. She was very, like I said, within her own self and didn't trust other people with her feelings. She'd been let down so many times in her life. She never thought that anybody could understand her. Until one day, Rhonda walked over to her as she was putting things on the shelves, and she asked Jasmine what was on her heart. And for some strange reason, Jasmine actually decided on this day she was going to talk to her. And Jasmine spoke to her for a few minutes, just saying how she really feels alone, like nobody understands her, but that she's going to save enough money so that she can hopefully go to college and she can figure out her life and build a life for herself that will make her proud. And that was when Rhonda told Jasmine that she too really didn't have many people, that all that she had was the people here at that super center, and that if she ever needed to talk, she'd be there for her. And something really strange happened for Jasmine. Jasmine suddenly didn't feel like she couldn't talk to somebody. For some reason, what Rhonda had said moved her enough that she would talk to Rhonda every single shift. No matter what she'd been doing, Rhonda would do what she assumed was leaving her greeting position and come and talk to her and coach her through some of the hardest times of her life. And every single time that Jasmine would find herself in a low place, there would be Rhonda, this really, really sweet old lady with the most beautiful smile, there to talk to her, to listen and understand her. And there was something about Rhonda that made Jasmine feel so much less alone. And Rhonda would tell Jasmine that she made her feel less alone too, and that she'd always be there for her. A few years goes on. Jasmine had been working there for a while now, and every single time she would go in for a shift, she was so excited to see Rhonda. She knew Rhonda would turn up and come see how she was doing, and actually she would often say to her, "There you are, I was looking for you." And the two would have these beautiful conversations. Then came the time where finally Jasmine was ready to go off to college, and she was no longer going to be able to work in the super center. And so with tears in her eyes, she told Rhonda how she was scared, that Rhonda was the only person who had made her feel less alone, and how would she start in a new city, and how would she do all of this? And Rhonda looked at Jasmine and told her that she'll never be alone. God is with her, the angels are with her, and that she is going to build the most beautiful life for herself. And the two wiped away their tears, and Jasmine finished off her last shift. and headed off and went to college. And on Christmas break, when Jasmine finally came back, she decided she was going to bring Rhonda a gift. So she went to the store and she bought Rhonda something really special, wrote her a really nice card, and showed up at the super center. But she couldn't see Rhonda anywhere. Jasmine started to get really worried because every single time she'd ever worked, Rhonda was always there. It was like Rhonda was always supposed to be there. So she went to her manager and asked, "Hey, where's Rhonda?" The manager, who'd worked there for decades, said to her, "Rhonda? What do you mean, Rhonda?" She said, "Rhonda, the greeter. I used to talk with her. We were friends. Didn't you ever see us talking? Like, I brought her a gift." And the manager looked at her as white as a ghost and said it's been over 15 years since an elderly woman named Rhonda was a greeter there. That Rhonda had never worked there while she'd worked there. And that there was no Rhonda at all that worked there while Jasmine had worked there. Jasmine looked at this woman as if she was absolutely crazy and told her all the different things that her and Rhonda had talked about, how Rhonda had made her less alone. And the manager's eyes filled with tears and said, "There was never a Rhonda that worked here while you did, but there was a greeter named Rhonda, an older woman with a beautiful smile who had no family. Rhonda had lost her husband. They'd never had kids, and the only thing that she had was working in that super center until the day she died." And it's giving me chills because Jasmine knew right then and there that Rhonda had never been there in flesh, but had been there in spirit, and that Rhonda had saved her life. And that Rhonda knew what it felt like to be alone, and her one joy was working at that super center, and that when she saw Jasmine and sensed how broken Jasmine was, she was there every day taking Jasmine under her wing. But when Jasmine looked around, Rhonda wasn't there anymore. And every single time that Jasmine has went back to that super center, Rhonda hasn't been there. And Jasmine believes it's because Rhonda did what she needed to do there. She helped save Jasmine's life. Because Jasmine has said that if it wasn't for Rhonda, she'd never have went to college and pursued the life of her dreams. And that she believes that Rhonda pushed her towards God and her angels and the beautiful life that she was destined to live. And it makes me so emotional hearing that, because I know that's true. Our loved ones and beautiful souls and angels are around us all the time to guide us and help us and be there for us. And even if you don't see them the way that Jasmine saw Rhonda, they're there and they're supporting you and they're with you. And it's just so beautiful to be reminded that despite how terrifying the paranormal can be sometimes, how terrifying the unknown can be, there is such a beautiful side to it too. Rhonda wasn't a trapped spirit. Rhonda had crossed on, but Rhonda came back because that was her happy place, and she found Jasmine, who needed her help, and she saved Jasmine's life. And it makes you wonder almost, at least it does for me, how many beautiful strangers we meet in our day-to-day life that may have been, what I believe, put in front of us by God. Whether you believe it's the universe or whatever your beliefs are, that's totally on you. But I wonder how many people we encounter maybe are just there to give us that guidance and that push and that love and that support. Rhonda was that for Jasmine. I don't know, you guys. I just had to share this story with you because the moment that I heard it, I had goosebumps and I actually cried, because the world and the universe and heaven and everything that we don't even understand is so beautiful. And I've said it so many times on my channel, but I haven't said it in a while. And that is, light will always overcome darkness. Is there darkness in the world? Absolutely. Are there dark people? Yes. Are there evil spirits? Yes. Are there demons and darkness and all of that? Yes. But there is light and there is goodness and there is beauty. And that is always going to be more powerful than anything else. And I just wanted to bring a little bit of positivity to you today, whether you needed it or it's a message you needed to hear, or maybe you're like, boring, cheesy. I felt it in my heart to share this story today, so I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys have any beautiful stories with the paranormal or the unknown that you'd like to share in the comments that you're comfortable to, I encourage you to do so, because I know that I would love to hear your stories, and I know that the rest of the Reese's Pieces would too. So make sure you guys comment down below any experiences you've had that you're comfortable sharing that are beautiful and positive and of light. And with that being said, that is it for today's video. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my videos, I would really appreciate it and love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button. And also, please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until next time, I love you guys.